Hello.
So if you're entering the cafeteria, please come on in and have a seat. Come on in. Can I put you on that duty too? Can you go over by the door and tell them to come up to the front? Please come on up to the front, have a seat. Good morning, good morning. Please come on in. Come up to the front. If you could come to the front because we're recording this live, if you could please bring your body up to the front. I know it's difficult.
Students, you have 1 minute to get to your Tiger tent. Again, 1 minute to get to your Tiger tent.
Please come on. Please come on in and come to the front, please. Yep, if you're just entering, if you could please come up to the front and sit at the tables. It was like the bus. Remember the bus? It was like if you took the bus, the back seat was like the cool place to be. Maybe I'm just showing my age. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. Good morning. Please come on in. Good morning. Good morning. Nobody's going to want to sit here anyway.
Students, you should now be in your Tiger tent.
Good morning. If you could please come up to the front as much as your body will allow. Good morning. Please come up to the front as much as your body will allow. Hey, Robin. Good morning. Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen. You're absolutely fine. I'm just scooting through. Okay. Excuse me, love. Oh, just so you know, I'm going to be putting my body right here. So if I'm in your way of being able to see, maybe this table's better just so you can see. You probably don't want to see my back. All right, I'm just making sure I want you to be able to see, not my back. Good morning. Please come on in. Good morning, ladies. Please come on in. Can we get started? Are you recording? Can we start? Okay. Is it recording? Is it already recording? Oh. All right. Well, good morning and welcome to December's Human Services Purpose Pathway Panel Assembly. For those of you entering or who have already entered the room, you have selected the Human Services Pathway as your first or second choice as a pathway, which demonstrates you have an interest in making a direct impact by supporting the needs of individuals, families, and communities. The professionals on the panel are working in the human services field and are here today to share their knowledge and experiences with you. So since we have limited time, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Panelists, if you could please take the microphone off mute, and if you could please introduce yourself by providing your name and your title.
Good morning. Ooh, that's loud. My name is Robin Liddell, and I am the Division Chief for the Criminal Trials Division with the Michigan Department of Attorney General's Office.
Good morning. My name is Kimberly Brown, and I am a child daycare licensing consultant with the state of Michigan.
The students that are going to the assembly will go to the cafeteria as soon as attendance is taken. Again, the students that are going to the assembly will be going to the cafeteria as soon as attendance is taken.
Good morning. My name is Officer Vargas. I'm the Van Buren Township School Resource Officer.
Morning, I'm Tim Stewart. I'm the SRO from the City of Belleville Police Department.
Good morning. My name is Erica Bolus, and I teach English at Belleville High School.
Good morning. My name is Courtney Ivan. I'm the Executive Director of Athletics and Student Development at Jackson College.
Good morning. I'm Katie Watson. I'm a therapist, and I specialize in children and teenagers.
Good morning, I'm Pete Kudlak, Superintendent of Van Buren Public Schools. Go Tigers.
Hello, I'm State Representative Reggie Miller.
Thank you so much, all of you. Ms. Miller, could you please share with us how and why you chose this career?
The career chose me. When I first moved here in 1996, I didn't know a soul. So I thought, well, I got to make some friends here. I got to get involved. So I started volunteering in the schools where my kids attended. I joined churches and local groups and got involved so I didn't feel so lonely.
I started out as an elementary teacher, and I chose that because I wanted to help students. I wanted to watch them learn and help their families and see where they could go.
I became a therapist because when I was a child, I needed a therapist. I went through trauma, and instead of asking myself what I wanted to do, you probably get asked that a lot, what you want to become, what job you want to have, you should ask yourself, who do you want to help? And for me, I wanted to help kids.
I chose my profession because it combined my love of athletics, competition, and the ability to help young people get to where they wanted to go.
Well, I became a teacher because I believe deeply in public service, but I also had an incredible journalism teacher in high school where she taught the newspaper course, and I was part of that staff. And it really helped me to come out of my shell and showed me just how powerful a classroom could be. So I kind of wanted to recreate that same space for my own students to thrive.
I started in this field, well, I started off at college not knowing what I wanted to do. I have an uncle who's a cop, so I talked with him about the field and seeing what law enforcement was about, and mixed with my passion for helping people, I decided that this was going to be the one for me.
I became a police officer because growing up, I didn't have a really good experience with police, so I felt like I could actually make a difference and be better than what they were to me.
I started off as a horticulture major when I went to college and then decided to go into social work because I wanted to help young people and families.
I decided to be a lawyer because I enjoy talking for a living, and so I just decided maybe I should make that a career. I decided to be a prosecutor probably my first year in law school because I wanted to just help communities that look like me and just to make sure that people were safe in their own homes. Oh, okay.
What is a typical day in your work life?
A typical day in my, okay. So I am the division chief for the Criminal Trials Division. So right now I oversee about 20 some odd prosecutors. Our prosecutors, we handle crimes all across the state of Michigan. So a lot of my job is administrative. I also handle my own caseload where I prosecute homicides, a lot of cold case murders, and sexual assault crimes, victims of sexual assault, child victims of sexual assault. So typically my day is the morning, I do a lot of administrative work, and then I head to court and where I'm in trial. That's pretty much it.
So I license child care centers. So a typical day for me is I'm going out to either a licensed child care home or a child care center. I'm doing inspections to make sure that they are treating the children right, that their paperwork is up to date. I also open child care centers, so I'll go out and do original inspections to make sure that everything is set, and then I'll issue a license. I also do special investigations, so if there are allegations that rules are being broken or that children are being hurt or harmed in a child care setting, I go out and I investigate that as well.
As a school resource officer, our job is to just walk through all the schools, make sure the schools are safe, make sure you guys are being safe, you guys are doing what you're supposed to do, coming to school, and that's pretty much it. It should be a simple job.
I think a typical day for a police officer could look a lot different. It could be coming to the lunchroom and hanging out and getting to know people. It could be going to bar fights. It could be going, doing paperwork in the office for 8 hours. So it's there's a lot to do, a lot of different things, and each day is a little different here.
Well, you guys are all in school, so you typically know what teachers do in classes, but I will say that no 2 days are the same. I do teach 4 different classes: English, journalism, Teacher Cadet 1, and Teacher Cadet 2, so it is kind of a heavy workload. My days are busy, but they always fly by. And one of the highlights of being the Teacher Cadet Coordinator is that I can travel in the district to observe my cadets in the field, so it's definitely a lot of fun.
Much like Ms. Bowles, every day is a little bit different. We start each day with some compliance things. We look at what events, what games we have each day. That's working with our students with problems they have coming in, what schools they're applying to, if they're talking with agents, looking at NIL deals, and trying to set them up to the best way possible. And each day looks a little different because each day is a different sport, each time's a different season, so each sport, each team has different needs, and we try to meet them where they're at and help them be successful.
I color, and I play tag, and I shoot hoops, and I play with Play-Doh, and I play with dolls, and I play ninjas, because I work with kids. And kids aren't going to walk into my office and say, Miss Katie, I've had a rough day. Let me tell you, Jamar took my toys today, and I am pissed. No, they're going to want to hit something. They want to take their energy out. They're going to want to move. If you've ever seen me here on Career Day, I bring my sensory bins, I bring things to play with. So I get to play all day because I work with kids. I do work with teenagers, and it's the same thing. I'm sure you don't want to sit and chat with an adult. So if I can take a walk with my client or shoot some hoops or play a game, that's so much easier than having to talk so directly. So every day looks different. I also do other things, but those are my favorite things.
So daily, I make sure that our 8 schools are functioning properly and have what they need so our students can be successful. So a lot of that is from a budget standpoint, a hiring standpoint. We have 4,000 some kids, which means 4,000 some parents, almost 600 employees, so the 9,000 people dealing with everybody that could or does have a problem from a day to day, working through all those problems and helping solve those so everybody can be successful.
There is no typical day for me, and that's really good. It's always changing because the issues and the challenges are ongoing and never the same. So the days I'm in district, I'll sometimes have panels and forums and meetings that I have to attend. I meet with residents and students such as yourself. I do research on bills and I work on projects. And then the days I'm in Lansing, I am working on bills and committees and hearings and voting on bills in session. The best part of my job, though, is working directly with my constituents, and I love what I do.
What are the most rewarding aspects of your job?
I'll go ahead and go. The best aspect of my job is when I'm able to help a homeowner or a resident or someone who lost their job and is trying to get unemployment or is struggling in school or needs extra help and resources. And when you're able to make that connection and be able to directly help them out of a bad situation, or you're able to provide resources for them, and sometimes that's connecting them with agencies and food banks and medical services. That's the best part of my job, because I get to see that my influence and my position was able to make that change and help them with their quality of life.
I agree with that. I think making a difference and seeing what you're doing makes a difference in students' lives. And I think the culmination of that for me is at graduation. So I say at graduation, when our students walk across the stage and they walk down the ramp, and I'm at the bottom of the ramp to greet them, the smile on their face at what they've accomplished, and with knowing what they're going to do after. And this is a big step in their life, and it's amazing. It's an amazing day for everybody in that day. And so that's, I think, the biggest, most rewarding day.
I started this off saying I chose what I did by who I want to help, and that's kids. And there are challenging days. There are times that kids don't want to work with me. I've worked with 5-year-olds that have kicked me and yelled at me and called me names, and those days are rough. And then I've run into those same kids years later, and they remember. They remember that I took the time even when it was hard. Miss Katie, you remember when you used to chase me down the hallway and I'd try and get out of the school? Yep, I remember. Well, I still like to run, but it's not so bad anymore. And that's good enough for me, right? Knowing that I can show up and connect and tell kids that they're important no matter what they look like, where they're from, who they are, that I'm going to keep showing up for them because they're worth it.
The most rewarding part for me is getting the wins, getting those W's. It's not always on the field of competition or on the court. It's completing a class that somebody struggled in. It's getting that associate's. It's getting that bachelor's. It's moving on to that next level. So helping students get to overcome that adversity and hit that win, hit that goal that they're working for, and that's the best part about my job.
The best part of my job is actually hearing from previous students who tell me I had a lasting impact on them. I still hear from students about 6, 7 years ago. I also love watching students take pride in their creativity and growth. And on top of that, I'm really lucky to work with such an amazing and incredible staff.
Law enforcement has a lot of rewarding parts to it. Going to a house and being able to solve a problem for them that they wouldn't have been able to do on their own. Or when it's cold out, being able to transport someone from there to the sidewalk, to the grocery store that they would not be able to make it to without us. So there's a lot of different rewarding parts in law enforcement.
And I think for me, it's the same thing he said. But, you know, making good relationships with people, knowing that you could actually make a difference in somebody's life. For example, you know, yesterday we did the Shop with a Hero program where we took multiple young students shopping with us, you know, and I know it's just a short time that they get to spend with us, but that means a lot to us. You know, we were able to, you know, put a smile on their face, even if it was just for a short period of time. That's probably the most rewarding part for me in this job.
I think the most rewarding thing for me in my position is I'm a licensing consultant. So when I'm able to consult with licensees to help them improve their programs for children, when I've seen people start off as assistant caregivers at a child care center and work their way up to becoming program directors, when I've been able to encourage people to do different things and expand their careers, that's really rewarding for me.
I think for me, it is just bringing a sense of closure to victims and families. When I meet people, it is in the middle of sometimes the most worst part of their lives. Either they have been a victim of an assault or their family member has been murdered. And so for me, it's just helping that family just to work through that process.
What certifications or skills or educational attainments were most important for what you do?
So for me, college, I graduated from Oberlin College, a small little school in Ohio. And then I went to law school at Michigan State. Go green, go white. Then after that, I had to take the bar in order to be a licensed attorney. And I took the bar a long time ago. And so those were the most, I guess, important certificates and degrees that I needed to do my work. And just an ability to talk and to communicate. Like I said, as a courtroom prosecutor, I'm in court and I'm talking a lot. And so really just working and honing on those communication skills.
For me, the most important things were I graduated from Michigan State. That's where I got my bachelor's, go green. And then I went on to get a master's degree from Eastern Michigan University with a specialty in children and family. So those were the two most important certifications. And then also making sure that I had strong writing skills and strong communication skills.
To become a police officer, you don't. There's only a few things that you need. You'd either, for some departments, you need to go to college. For some other ones, you don't. You have to go through academy. But you have to go through academy for all of them. But for some would require that you go to college. Some would give you a waive college if you have military experience. So it really depends what you're trying to do. As far as skills, I think you just got to be a good person. That's really what it takes to be a police officer. If you got to have your mind in the right place to be able to help people. Sometimes you got to put people before yourself. So that's really what you really need. That's the core of what you will need to become a police officer. Everything after that, it could be taught. You'll learn it as you go through.
Yeah, I agree with Officer Vargas on everything he said, but also a couple of skills that maybe I didn't really put too much thought into before coming to law enforcement was you have to have great people skills and you have to have great problem-solving skills because that's a lot of what this job is.
First and foremost, you have to like students. You have to like kids in order to, be an effective teacher. But on the degree end, I earned a Bachelor of Arts in English from Western Michigan University. And teachers in Michigan must also pass an MTTC certification exam through their college preparation program, which demonstrates their content knowledge, their subject area, and their readiness to teach. So I had to take the English and communications MTTC assessments in order to actually teach those courses. And a lot of times educators do end up getting their master's degree, so there is room for growth. I did get my MSEL, which is in leadership from Concordia University.
I think a lot of my biggest skills for this job area is having strong communication skills, problem solving, and having a strong sense of empathy. Being able to communicate with people from different backgrounds, different traditions, and being able to resonate with them on their own level is huge and it's major. While I have a bachelor's in biology and fitness management, I have a master's in organizational leadership, I wouldn't necessarily need all of the higher level degrees. It is very helpful. It moves you up further in this world, in this league, but having those basic soft skills and liking what you do will get you a lot further in this career and in these pathways.
I'm a BHS alum, so started there, right here, not in this building, much older building. And then I went to Grand Valley. I got my bachelor's in psychology, and that's sometimes a joke because psychology you can do so many things with, so if you don't know, you can do it in psychology and figure it out later. But it actually is really powerful because you can use it in so many ways. After that, I went to Eastern to get my master's in counseling. And having a master's in counseling, you can work anywhere because everyone has feelings, everyone has conflicts. You can advocate for yourself to work in a school, to work in a business, to work for yourself. I do all those things. I work for a nonprofit. So really being able to advocate for what you know and your skills and your education and say, hey, you need me because I know you have people that need me. And being able to just work with people. I think that's going to be a common theme on this panel is that we enjoy working with people, we have good communication, and we're not always right. We're able to be like, that's a good way to say that. Let's figure it out together.
I too have a bachelor's in psychology, so I agree with everything she said. It's a great universal degree. Got a master's degree also in educational leadership, but I think the biggest education piece that I got is in the job and working with people and seeing people and really analyzing how people are working together and solving problems and going through conflict and just watching other people do that and picking up skills along the way, I think has been the biggest thing that helped me be successful.
As a state representative, you don't need a certain type of degree, but I do have an associate's and a bachelor's, and I went on to get different certificates in certain specialties. But what those degrees taught me was being in front of different types of people. And I learned that compromise is a solution. I learned that patience is key. And you have to see the world through other people's eyes. And you have to understand where they're coming from. And that's made me stronger and a better advocate for my residents. So patience is key, and also kindness. We don't have enough kindness in the world anymore. So if you'd like to go into my field, you can talk to my chief of staff who's in the back. Feel free. He'll give you information on how to get your career going.
What do you wish you knew beforehand about your business or career, and therefore how would you advise it to others?
Oh, that's challenging. I think the most challenging part of my job is you're pulled in a million directions all at once. And you're thrown into an issue that you have to learn very, very quickly and very fast. And you have to count on others for that. And there's never enough time in my job to do everything that I need to do in the way that I'd like to do it. But somehow you find the time to get things done. And sometimes working on a bill can be difficult too. You work, you advocate, you pitch it, you speak to the other state reps, and then you get it up on the board for a vote, and you're excited, and then all of a sudden you have that one that changes their mind at the last minute, and you look at months of work that you're starting at ground zero again. But you pick yourself up and you go at it one more time, and you get it done. And then the reward is phenomenal. It just is. And it makes you stronger.
I think when you're working in a lot of our positions, it's an ongoing thing. So I think that's something that was, I didn't necessarily know about, but it's like it's ongoing. It's, I'm showing up to work at 6:30 in the morning and starting working through problems and with people, and those problems and the people continue. It doesn't really stop, and it continues. And I think that's something that we must like in this role. But it's also something that I didn't know when I was going into this or thinking about that. That's something that happens. You get sucked into problems all day long, every day.
At this stage in your life, in high school, you're figuring out who you are, you're figuring out what you want to do, what's next after this, right? Because there's life after BHS. And your career is going to look a lot different at 19, 18 than it is at 20 and 30 and 40. So it's okay right now if you don't have it all figured out. And when I was where you are right now, I thought I had to have it figured out. And if I didn't, who was I? What was I doing, right? So it's okay if you don't know your entire future right now. It will change. You will find new opportunities. New opportunities will find you, sometimes drag you into them. But as long as you have an idea of who you want to help, and what's important to you, go in that direction. And then seek out people that do that and ask, what do you like about it? What's hard about it? I wish I would have known when I was in your position that I didn't have to be perfect at it, that I didn't have to have all the answers. And even now as a therapist, when I work with one kid, what works with them does not work for another. or even my own children. They're all very different. They all have different personalities. So you have to be able to change and mold. And it's okay if you don't know exactly how that looks like right now.
I'll also second that. It's okay to not know exactly what you're going to do, and what you think you're going to do right now is going to change. The outlook that you're going to be in a position in a profession for 30, 40 years is not always that same, so is not the same thing anymore. So be able to take that risk to change professions, to take that leap, to jump into a different job field that you may not have thought you wanted to do, but certain aspects on it. So just bet on yourself and try something different. You might surprise yourself.
What I wish I knew beforehand was how important self-care is in this profession. Teaching is kind of unsustainable if you don't take care of yourself. And if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others. So something I am still learning is setting boundaries of not taking work home all the time. Work will always be there the next day. It's always going to be there. It's not going away. So taking time for yourself and your family and your passions and your hobbies is really, really important. And the fact that I have set those boundaries, or learning to, it's actually made me a happier, healthier teacher.
Officer Stewart, if you could hold on just 1 second before you answer that. The bell's going to ring in just a moment. For those of you that are going to stay for the panel, please just stay. Actually, you know what? If everybody in the room could just wait until the panel is complete, and then those of you can stay to talk to some of the panelists, and others can report back to report to third hour. Okay? So when the bell rings, please just stay seated for a moment. Officer Stewart.
So I wish I would have known the different avenues to get into law enforcement. There's a couple ways you can go. You can go to college, and then you can join after. You can go to the state police. You can go to Detroit at 18. So if I were to do it over again, I would have consulted with more different departments and asked, what could I be doing to better myself for this profession.
If you could just have a seat for a second, we're going to finish the panel real quick. Please have a seat so the panel can finish. Thank you. Officer Vargas?
I wish I would have known how mentally strong you have to be and how much you got to take care of yourself. The job is rewarding, but it also takes a lot from you, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'll tell you the reality of our job. We go through a lot of good things, but we also go through a lot of bad things. We lose a lot sometimes, and sometimes we don't take care of ourselves enough. So I think, now that I'm here, looking back at everything I've been through in this job, maybe taking care of myself would be a good way to start.
One thing that I wish I had known when I was starting out was that it's okay to move around even within your career path. I think I've worked for the state let me start here and just say that I think it's important for every young person to know that what other people have said is true, that your path will change. And that's okay. It's okay to change your path. Like I said, I started off, I took a horticulture class. That greenhouse is still standing. The rest of the high school is new, but I took a horticulture class here at Belleville when I was in high school. And I went to Michigan State for the express purpose that it was the #1 horticulture school in the country. I got there, I changed my major, and that was fine. So I think if you have a path that you're going on that's going in a good direction, even if it changes, you still set yourself up to go in the right way. I do think that it would have been good for me to know in the beginning that self-care is important. I've been a social worker for over 25 years now. And I've done everything from protective services to child daycare licensing to foster care. And burnout is real. But I definitely want every young person to know, take every opportunity you have. They have a lot of things offered for you here at school with the different CTE programs, the different electives, and you never know, you'll find something that can lead you down the path to the right career.
I think I would just echo what everyone else has said. I think because we work in human services, we provide most direct services, so we have a lot of contact with the public. And so burnout can be something that you grapple with, but I also think that it's the most rewarding work because we get to see the instantaneous results, you know. I think one thing that I would have told my younger self is that it's okay if you don't have everything under control, and if you don't have, you know, if your plan A falls through, it's okay sometimes not to have a plan B and just figure it out, you know, because you'll be okay and things will work out as the way that they are intended to.
Thank all of you so much for participating in today's panel. I believe